When we do a number story, there's a few things that happen. What's the first thing that we do when we do a number story? You remember? Yep. What's step one?
We forgot.
We forgot. We read it. Oh, we forgot. You're right.
Read it.
Good. We read it. Okay, so we're going to read this problem. Jose bought milk for 35 cents, apple juice for 55 cents, grape juice for 45 cents, and orange juice for 65 cents. My goodness, he was busy. How much money did he spend? So we've read it. Now what are we going to do after we read it? Someone else?
Think about it.
We're going to think about it a little bit. Okay, so I'm thinking about it. Wow, he was at the store. He spent some money. And I want to know, how much money did he spend? Okay, so I'm thinking about how much money did he spend. How am I going to figure that out? What's my third step? I'm going to plan it out. Okay, I know that I've got to figure out how much money he spent all together. So I guess I have to add all these numbers up. That's a lot of numbers to add up, but I've got a line right here I can write my number model on. So I'm going to use my number model line to plan it. Let's see, 35 plus 55 plus 45 plus 65. Okay, and then equals, and I don't know what it equals yet because I haven't added it up yet. So I kind of planned it out though. I think that's a pretty good plan for it. What's my fourth step on here? That's right, I do it. Okay, I'm going to do it. And in this case, guys, when you do it, you want to use these total and parts diagrams again. You remember a few lessons ago when we did that? We had a total and parts diagram, but it was just one total and just two parts. Give me a thumbs up, a thumb sideways, or a thumbs down if you remember that. How are we doing, Mrs. Witten?
Looking good.
Great. Okay, well look at this. This is the same thing except there's more than two parts. I'm not just adding 35 plus 55. Okay, if those were just my two parts, I'd put them here. 35 and 55. Look, I've got two more parts to go in there. Thank goodness I have these extra boxes. Okay, so I've got to put 40, no, not 46. 45 and 65. Okay, and then to get my total, I would add them all together. Now, you guys are quite good at adding, and you can choose to add any way you want. I'm going to add these pretty quickly in my head by saying, let's see, I know 40 and 60 is 100, and 5 and 5 is 10, so this is 110. Okay, and then I know that 30 plus 50 is 80, and 5 plus 5 is 10, and 80 plus 10 is 90. So let's see, I know that this is 90, and 90 plus 110, well, I know that equals 200. Okay, so my number model over here is going to be 200, and I'm sorry I got kind of messy over here. Usually I have a separate piece of paper for you to see, but didn't quite work out that way today. So I know the answer is 200, so I'm going to write 200 up here, because that's my total. Okay, answer the question, 200, 200 what? Well, 200 cents, but if you want to make it $2 or something that equals $2, that's fine. Yes, you can use the cent symbol or the dollar sign if that's what you're working on. How do you know your answer makes sense? Well, what's step number 5? Raise your hand. You check it. Good. Okay, so I'm going to check it. I'm going to see if this makes sense. I might subtract these away from 200. I might think, okay, I might add them up a different way. I might do 55 and 65 or 45 and 35 in a different order. I know that these numbers, just looking at them, I can estimate they would equal 200. So I can say, and look what I'm going to use, no, my answer makes sense because, and I'm going to write that right in there, because I did a ballpark estimate. And now I didn't write my ballpark estimate down, but I sort of looked at it and I estimated in my head, and I know that equals about 200. Okay, so this is what you're going to work on today for your math. And the neat thing about this, guys, this is your home link that this is not your home link, but this is very similar to your home link. So you have problem 1 that I just showed you. Okay, and see, last year I checked by adding a different way. That's another way to check. So today in math you practice those 4. And if you finish early, you can write your own. And then you can also work on math boxes. And let me show you about your home link for tonight. You might think this is a little more easy because when you start out, look, there's not even a story. You just have to add these numbers together. And you might find that some orders are easy to add in than others. So if I try to add 6 plus 18, I might not know that right away. But if you think, oh, I know that 6 plus 4 is 10, and this is a 10, 10 plus 10 is 20, I know that this equals 20. Then you can do 20 plus 18, and that would be 38. And so when it says I added in this order, you would say 6 plus 14 plus 18. So you can switch it around a little bit, but guys, the important thing is it doesn't matter what order you add in, and it really doesn't matter the strategy you use, as long as the strategy works for you and you get the correct answer. Okay? So you have to practice just looking at these and adding them for your homework. And then here's just like what we practiced in class, except they went kind of easy on you. They only gave you 3 parts to practice with at home. Okay, so today in class you're doing 4 of them. For homework you only have to do 3, so only hunt for 3 in there, and you have to decide, are they the parts, are they the total, and where do the pieces go? But you just remember, if you use your strategy to solve your word stories, your number stories, you read it, you think about it, you plan it, you do it, and then you check it. And you guys are getting quite good at that. So at this point, I know you haven't had any chance to practice it just yet, but I'm going to ask you if there are any questions.
Isaiah? When you had, be great at, when you add 4 on it, like, how do you tell if it's plus or minus? Like, it sounds like...
That's a great question. How do you tell if it's plus or minus? You know what? If you are trying to figure out how much something is altogether, like this wants to know how much money did he spend altogether, even though it doesn't say that. This one says how much did she drive in all. If it's something that's all together, then that's how you know when you add. And Isaiah, another trick is, if you can figure out which things are the parts, you're always going to add the parts. Now, if you get the total first, that's when you have to subtract. Like if it said he spent 200 cents and didn't tell you how much he spent on orange juice, so you were missing a part, that's when you would have to do some subtraction. And we'll work some more on that, so you get some practice so you know how to do it. That was a good question, Isaiah. We can take one more, and then I know you guys have to go to music.
Any other questions? Miles?
One is if you guys add them all in the same order, can you do it like in from lower to lower?
Oh, yeah, you can keep it right in the same order if you want to. Sure. What Miles, is basically whatever works for you. Okay. As long as you get the right answer. All right. So I'm going to come back onto the camera just for a minute.